it's Andrea from Walks as Well Andrea, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about how to consume fitness advice on social media, what to keep in mind when you follow influencers. And so I think to start off, we all know that things are exaggerated on social media. We know that there are people who are in great shape who didn't necessarily get into that shape or maintain that shape by whatever they're selling. And so a few weeks ago, I came across two people I have been following for quite a few years now. They are both women. They are both in middle age. And they're both quite successful. And I do like both of them. They share good information. They're both into lifting heavy weights and eating natural foods mostly, by not being too obsessed. And so I do enjoy their content, but I noticed something for both of them. So one of them has a program. It's a 4-day lifting program, 2 upper body days, 2 lower body days. She also shares a lot of other things that I find enjoyable, such as, grocery hauls. She shares some recipes, things like that. So she's very relatable, and I really enjoy her content. And I followed her, as I said, for a number of years, and I do follow her content very regularly. So I see most of her stories on Instagram and videos and other things. And so over the years, she has been asked quite a few times about her experiences of getting older with perimenopause, menopause, and she has been asked if this was a problem for her. And she has always said, no, my program is working great. I was always scared of growing older. She actually used that line a lot. But so far, so good. I'm going to be honest. If there is a problem, I will let you know. But, what I'm doing, eating great food. She has a couple supplements she also recommends. But for the most part, it's really eating natural foods and, doing her lifting program. That is enough. And, I did sort of question that a little bit. She's in her mid-50s, we're the same age. And I thought, maybe, people have different experiences, and maybe this is true. But then I also noticed that there were definitely parts or times when she stopped really posting all that much. And she still posted, but she hardly ever showed herself. She oftentimes shows herself working out, and so that stopped. And so I was curious about that, but didn't think too much about it. And so the other day she did a post again about now being in menopause, and she admitted in that post that perimenopause was extremely difficult for her, that she was going through a really difficult time, that she had all sorts of symptoms. She felt terrible. She did actually deal with some weight gain and body changes, redistribution of fat and things like that. Things she had never mentioned in the years she was going through this. Now, I do understand why, okay? Because I think it is very difficult to address something that you're going through when you don't really have an answer, when you don't really know how this is going to play out. But I think, she really did a disservice to the people who followed her when she made it sound like everything was just great and easy, when it was far from it. It was probably a lot worse than I would have imagined, right, from what she said. So, and, I think it's also a little bit too convenient that now she is through it, right? Or that's what she says. And now she can say, oh, by the way, my program will work. You may have a couple difficult years, but look, I got through it. I'm doing great, right? So I am now questioning everything she shares, everything she says, because I can't really trust her, right? I don't know if what she shares is true or not. And again, I think there's a big difference of not sharing that something is difficult versus really saying, I'm doing great, right? There's a big difference, actually, I think, in that. And so I think, you have to be really, really careful with what people share, and really keep in mind that they are trying to sell you something. Keep in mind that there has to be a problem and that they have to have the solution that they're selling you, okay? The second person, I think what stood out for me is she has a very successful program. Again, the overall parts of her program, lifting heavy and eating mainly real foods and things. I think it's great. She uses a before and after picture to advertise her program. The before picture is horrible lighting, horrible bathing suit, horrible angle. I mean, it's like a fishbowl view of her body. It's just a horrible picture. I think anybody, including her, in her current state, would look horrible in that angle, that bathing suit, that lighting, okay? And then her after picture and videos where are obviously professional videographer, photographer. She did a bulk and then a very intense cut and is extremely, extremely muscular and very, very, very low body fat. And that's what she's using over and over and over again. Now, I have also seen her, glimpses of her in real life, in her own photos a little bit, and then also in somebody else's. And she looks quite different. She looks good. She's definitely in shape. She's definitely working out. I think, she's definitely doing her program. But it's really quite different from this promotional material that she uses. And I think it is important to keep this in mind because she is selling a moment in time, right, that she bulked up and then dieted down to. And it's something that I don't think anybody should maintain year-round, right? She shouldn't, you shouldn't, we shouldn't. But I think it is important to acknowledge that, right? Because we are really chasing something that is unattainable. Not only, maybe it's unattainable for us individually, but also the people that are selling it, they are not maintaining that for very long at all, right? They are, it's like a bodybuilding competition. A lot of people are in that shape exactly the amount of time they're on the stage, and that's fine. That's what they do. But I think we need to acknowledge that. So again, I just wanted to point this out because I think it is really easy to compare our messy everyday life to somebody's highlight reels, and also to forget that they really have a message. They're really selling you something, and they're going to try to appeal as relatable as they possibly can to you, right? And most of their content may be good, right? I mean, the overall message of lifting weights, eating real food, managing your stress, all those things are really important, are really good. But then, some of it is just exaggerated. It's not real life. They're not sharing really oftentimes their struggles and their real life with you. So keep living your life, keep moving, do things that are good for you, and remember that social media is not real life. Bye now.